I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. We now open the meeting up for discussion to the public regarding the millage rate. So we know we've advertised it for 2 consecutive weeks, and so now we're ready to open up for discussion to the public. Questions? We have until 7:30 tonight. Go ahead, clerk, and you go ahead and announce what we've just done.
She just needs to announce that we're raising it from 4.495 mils to 4.645 mils. And we hope to adopt it later at the meeting tonight.
Any questions to be asked?
I have a question. What is this rate being raised for? What is it supposed to be used for?
Go ahead, and as the clerk is asking that you identify yourself as you speak each.
Yes, my name is Elijah Simmons, 203 Gray Highway in Gordon, Georgia. I'm a resident here, and I would just like to know what would be the purpose of the increase. Anyone can answer that for me?
I'll be glad to try. We've been going in the hole, Mr. Simmons, for the last 5, 6, 7 years. We have not raised our millage rate, and we're going in the hole. We cannot continue to move forward. This is the smallest amount that we could raise the taxes without having 3 public hearings. We raised it 2.99% on the existing millage rate. We were going to lose $12,000. Now we're losing $4,000 in this year. So we've been going backwards. We still not going forward. We're not taking in enough money in the city of Gordon to pay our bills.
Well, another question. If they get this rate, with the service that we've been getting, is it gonna stay the same or it's gonna improve? Because the service that I see that Gordon been getting has been lousy. The streets, different departments that but the street mainly that I know, the sewage, none of that, even service that I needed done with my sewage, that hasn't even been taken care of. I spoke the first of the year concerning the sewage problem that my sister was having and I was having, hers at 139 and mine's at 203, and has nothing been done and nobody has said anything about it. So I feel that if y'all want to get an increase, we should see some kind of development in the city, us citizens being taken care of better than we've been, because it's been a lousy job being done for the city.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Water and sewer comes under a completely different department than, this. This is just general fund money that we're taking in to try to help pay for the, services, just like you say, such as the street department, the maintenance on it, and the police department. And then, paying the salaries of the mayor and the council and people like that, and the upkeep of the buildings, paying the insurance, things like that. Water and sewer comes out of the water and sewer fund. We hadn't raised that rate in 10 years. So we're way behind on that too. I, can give you some numbers if you would like for me to later on, to show you that we've been going in the hole worse on the water and sewer than we are on the, general funds that we talking about for this particular thing. So we're gonna probably have to, go up on our water rates, fairly soon. If we don't, we're already in the hole now on the water and sewer that we having to take money out of the general fund to pay the loans that we have in the water and sewer fund. So it's nowhere near as good as the general fund is, you know.
Well, I also have a question concerning, you spoke on, for the general fund, for the insurance. I missed, quite a few, council meetings, but, I didn't even know that the city had got insurance. I hope that they have now though, but why raise something for something that the city didn't have? And that's the question I'm also asking. Has the city got their insurance as of, today's date?
Yeah. You won't answer that.
No. If you're talking about, public liability,
Yes.
no. And, what's the other one?
The other one is just a general liability insurance that we have on all of our vehicles, buildings, property that we have, workman's comp, all of that type of insurance. Yes, sir, we still have that type of insurance on all of our properties, but we do not have a insurance on the, individuals, you know, themselves. We could not get it. Nobody in the United States will service us.
To add to that, to add to what he is saying, I don't know, we found someone who will do it, but because of the, if that's what you were talking in relations to the, liabilities and such, and a lawsuit, then, astronomically, it's going to, cost. And so with that being said, with all of this that's been transpiring, there's no reason. But a few select have chosen to go that route. And so I would like to state for the record, prior to my coming into office, there was only one lawsuit. This was forthcoming prior to, as I stated, all of this transpired before this new administration. So we come in and just fell in the, I guess, the situation. And so because of that, then a contact was made that they no longer felt the need to insure us, GERMA. And we have the attorney here, he can expound on that. And I just say, and then before that, the complaints that were lodged against the new administration had not ever taken place, but the cancellation was done before before we even had a chance. So does that answer your question pretty clearly?
Yes.
Now, someone else may want to expound. As we say, we're sick. This is your time to ask the questions that you'd like to ask. And once we're in the council meeting, it would not be a time for you to state your questions. This is your opportunity. Go ahead.
I have a question.
We'd like for you to stand, state your name and your name, rank, and identification.
I have a Harriet Solomon. My concern is that, well, I have a concern, I have a question at the same time. I've noticed that our sidewalks are kind of paving in on College Street. And you know, it can go to have the crippled folks like me, you know, just make an off the step and kind of agitate what's going on with your area. But the other question I have is, I noticed that a couple of meetings that I've been to, that the city, in which I've spoken to Councilman Dansley and Councilman Smallwood about, why are we paying $500 a year, or however often it's paid to pause and clause, but yet there's never enough money to do what we need to be done within the city. Now, my other concern is that, you know, the councilmen, they represent our best interests. But is it my best interest to pay for, these dogs, paws and claws? Now, we need a dog catcher. We need some dog, traps.
My understanding, Ms. Solomon, when I came on board with this administration, was that the police, pretty much, they had a dog catcher. I don't know what happened, but then they said the police was pretty much handling the
Okay.
dog situation, so.
But I know once before when I called the dog catcher, he said the trap was already out and we didn't have enough traps. And it was a black and white bulldog in my yard I couldn't get rid of. And I was scared to go outside. And I thought maybe now if we could pay $500 a year to paws and claws, which I don't know how the paws and claws affect the city of Gordon. Does anybody know? I mean, I need to know. I would like to know.
Well, we have the president here, he can, pretty much tell us.
I mean,
Do you wanna direct that question to him?
how does it affect the city of Gordon?
Yes.
Yeah, how does it affect the city of Gordon? I mean, cause I see we need other things besides that. I mean, you know, we can throw $500 after that. I mean, is it stray dogs? How you, I mean, maybe we give Dr. Dennett to put the dog down that we catch and send them out there, cause I mean, I like to walk, but I'm afraid of, dogs, because sometimes they do become aggressive, cause we had to call the cops the other day, that the dog became aggressive. He was leaving his yard, coming down, meeting us down the street.
The dog.
Yeah. So I mean, is it a necessity that we pay $500 a year? I mean, and we need stuff done in the city. Our infrastructure is falling down around us. That's what I'm saying. If y'all got our best interest at heart, I want to know.
Excuse me, counsel, did you have something to say?
Yes, I just want to say, Ms. Solomon, right now, we just gonna do the taxes, but if, and you brought up a very good point, but, we have a form that you need to go by City Hall, and then we will put you on the, Ms. Brown will get you on the agenda, and then we can come back and we can talk about.
Oh, I thought it was an open forum, any questions, I didn't know what it is.
As it relates
Questions.
to
Was
the.
related.
Well, I came in late, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I
okay, it
didn't
was
know.
just related to the tax,
Oh, okay.
May I address those comments, Mayor?
but he wanna address.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I didn't catch your name, like Ms. Solomon, but, I'll ask you to do two things. One is talk to, Chief Hall, because probably in the last 2 years, we have, I have personally picked up, several litters of puppies that people left at the police department or abandoned in the streets, or they were sick or injured. One litter, I think there was 10 or 12 puppies, and the other one there was probably 8 or 10. So that's 20 puppies that were taken humanely out of circulation, and they were adopted out to homes. Paws and Claws philosophy is we're trying to be a no-kill organization. It's easy to pick up stray animals and take them to the vet and have them killed and throw them in the landfill. I don't think that's a humane thing to do when there are other alternatives. The worst offender are people who are sorry and don't have their animals spayed and neutered. That's just irresponsible. And it is now the law in Georgia. The law changed about 4 years ago. It is animal cruelty to abandon an animal, put animals out at dumpsters, throw animals out the car, take them to somebody's house and dump them out. We've had all that happen here in Gordon. We've had probably a dozen animals we have rescued from the trailer park out here.
Isn't that where the,
243.
this Lord, are you still the,
Yes, I am.
take care of that?
Yes, I am.
We get calls daily, not only from Gordon, but all over the county. And before in 2013, the city had appropriated $300 a month, $3,600 a year for assistance with humane animal control in the city of Gordon. Now it's been cut in half. But dogs and cats haven't stopped breeding because our funds got cut, and I can guarantee you that. Now, if you take the average cost to have an animal picked up and treated humanely, adopted out, they have to have rabies shots, they have to have a heartworm test, they have to have leukemia test. They sometimes have other illnesses because people don't take care of them. About an average of $150 an animal for 15 to 20 puppies, that's a year's worth of appropriation right there just for 2 litters of puppies. So that's what Paws and Claws does in the city of Gordon.
Thank you,
Thank you.
all right. Do we have, any other questions from the citizens? This is now, we wanna stay on track with the village. Questions regarding your, millage increase. I think you mentioned, clerk, that it was 2 point, it was being, 2.99%.
Raised 2.99.
Right. We're here in this open discussion for the public. So maybe we'll give you about 5 more minutes. What we're going to do is, just, recess until such time, then we can start the, regular council meeting. Go ahead.
Shane, just to make sure.
Excuse me? Would you? Oh, okay.
Just to make sure if they missed the last meeting, Ms. Vanessa, the tax commissioner, she said that rate increase was about $6 per 100,000, so I make sure everybody knows it ain't no real big deal.
For the benefit of those that have arrived late, we're still in the, we're still in the meeting for the millage discussion. And if you'd like to make a statement, please stand and state your name and address and all of the above, and then your question. Question?
Yes. I don't, need to just be the only one that speaks out, but, I like to be abreast on, couple of more things that, I haven't found out yet. Melvin Lawrence spoke at one council meeting concerning, employees. It was complained that, city of Gordon was being deteriorated because they didn't have enough people to do the work around. Trash all up there by the bypass, and Lord knows about the weeds and thing that growing on the street. You can't even come out into a main street unless your front end is almost out there in the street that you can see around. Has there been any new employees? I remember there has been, the police department had, but I mean for the city, the basic labor workers. Has there been any added employees to the city since then?
Well, let me, that, as far as the street, Councilwoman Whipple, would you like to explain?
We have hired 2 people, but right now we want to try to keep it at with the tax. Right now.
Well, if we,
And I know,
if you get the taxes for that, you know, it's still not letting us know concerning, this is one of the reasons why, because there wasn't any, they claimed there wasn't any funds to hire them, so once you, get the increase, will there be, another employee, or is
we
it gonna
have-
be 2 more hired, or what?
We have hired 2 more. We have, just to answer your question, we have had 2 more
in which department is that?
on the street.
2 employees have been hired, 2 additional
Yes,
employees have been hired. So we have how many?
Since you've been at the meeting. 2 have.
Well, is, another question,
We've had how
what-
many in the police department? Councilwoman Toles is not here. So we've got 3, so a total of 3 additional.
One full-time, 2 part-time.
My understanding is there's 1 full-time and 2 part-time in the police department. Our chief is here. Can you validate that, chief? How many new employees have you?
Yeah, it was 1 full-time this side, 3 part-time off.
1 full-time and 3 part-times.
well, is these professional people that being hired, or is it just labor people that have been hired in certain positions, if I may ask, for the streets?
Restrictions just labor.
Well, seems like it should be much more than 2, from my point of view.
Go ahead.
I would like to commend the council for y'all are doing a terrific job, I think, in difficult times. I'm very proud of being in Gordon since 1976. I've raised my family here. I love this community. I'm proud of our water, our sewage. I know at times we have difficulty. Our fire department keeps our insurance rates down. Our police department, I am very supportive of them. Melvin, I think, is doing the best he can with a difficult situation. And one thing we've got to keep in mind, we do have a new industry coming at the end of Paper Mill Road, next couple of years. And one of the reasons it's coming here is because of the water that we have in Gordon. Otherwise, it probably would not be here. So our water system is very important. And I don't like taxes, no better than anybody. But I will be willing to do what I can to ensure my water and sewer. Thank you.
By the way, Mr. Daniel, did you state your name and,
I did, I'm Bruce Daniel,
and you reside where?
238 Greyhound.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, we got about a minute, so, if you have no further questions, then what I'll just say is that we can just go ahead and, give you a little break until such time as we exit into the, council meeting. Now, be sure to know that this is the first millage, rate increase since 2011. So, is this the way y'all want it? We just go ahead and close out and you're free until 7:30.